Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English with me. I'm Sam, and I'm really glad you're here today because we are going to talk about something that you actually hear in daily conversations all the time, but many learners still feel unsure about using it.
Hi everyone, I'm Emma, and yes, this is one of those topics where people understand the rule, but when it comes to speaking, they hesitate. You might know the grammar, but in real conversations, it just doesn't come out naturally.
Exactly, and that's the gap we're going to fix today. Not by giving you heavy rules, but by showing you how this works in real life, how people actually speak.
And we'll keep things simple and practical. Think of this as a conversation you can learn from, not a lecture you have to survive.
And if you enjoy learning English this way, don't forget to subscribe to Speak English with me so you never miss these real-life conversations.
So, Sam, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how often people say things like, "I've just finished my work," or "I've seen that movie before"?
Yeah, all the time. And what's interesting is people don't stop and think about grammar when they say these sentences. It just flows naturally.
That's the key. Learners often pause and think, wait, should I use past simple or something else? And by the time they decide, the moment is gone.
Right. For example, imagine someone asks you, "Are you free now?" A natural reply could be, "I've just finished my meeting." Not, "I finished my meeting just now." Even though that's not wrong, it just feels different.
And here's a helpful idea. When you're not sure what to say, you can use simple phrases like, "I've just," "I've already," or "I haven't yet." These are very common in everyday English.
Let me give another situation. Someone asks, "Have you eaten?" And you reply, "Yes, I've already eaten." That sounds smooth and natural.
Or if you're still planning to do something, you can say, "I haven't done it yet." For example, "I haven't finished my assignment yet."
You see what's happening here? We're not even explaining anything formally yet, but you're already hearing patterns.
Exactly, and that's how your brain learns best, through repeated exposure in real situations.
Let's try a quick one. Emma, have you ever tried learning a language just by listening?
I have, actually. I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and over time, I've noticed my understanding improve.
That's a perfect example. You didn't say "I tried" or "I was trying." You said "I've tried" because you're talking about your experience up to now.
And that's the feeling we want you to start noticing, not just the structure, but the meaning behind it.
Also, if you don't understand someone in a conversation, you can say things like, "Sorry, I haven't understood that," or more naturally, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." Both are useful depending on the situation.
Or even simpler, can you say that again? It's always better to keep communication going rather than staying silent.
So today, we're going to help you move from thinking about grammar to actually using it without stress.
By the end of this episode, you'll start noticing this tense in conversations, and more importantly, you'll start using it yourself with confidence.
So let's build on what we've already been using naturally. You've heard sentences like, "I've finished my work," or "I've seen that movie." Now, let's make sense of what's happening inside those sentences.
Right, and don't worry, we're not going to make this complicated. The structure is actually very simple. You take have or has, and then you add the past participle of the verb.
So, for example, "I have finished," "She has completed," "We have eaten." That second part, finished, completed, eaten, that's what we call the past participle.
And here's something important. In real conversations, people don't usually say "I have." They say "I've." So instead of "I have finished," you'll hear "I've finished."
Same with you've, we've, they've, and for has, you'll hear he's, she's, it's.
That's why sometimes learners get confused. They hear "he's finished," and they think it means he is finished, but actually it can also mean he has finished.
Context helps you understand the meaning. For example, if someone says "he's tired," that's "he is tired." But if they say "he's finished his work," that's "he has finished."
Let's slow it down with a few clear examples. "I've completed my task." She's gone to the market. They've watched that show.
Now, here's where things get interesting. Why don't we just use the past simple? Why not say, I finished my work?
Good question. And here's the difference. When you say, I finished my work, you're talking about a specific time in the past. Maybe yesterday, maybe last night.
But when you say, I've finished my work, you're not focusing on when. You're focusing on the result now. The work is done at this moment.
That's the key idea. Present perfect connects the past with the present. Something happened before, but it's important now.
Let's make that clearer. Imagine your friend asks, are you free now? If you say, I've finished my homework, it means you're free now.
But if you say, I finished my homework, it sounds more like you're just telling a past story. The connection to now is weaker.
Exactly. And that's why this tense is so common in daily life. We often talk about things that just happened or are relevant now.
Another example, someone asks, why are you happy? You say, I've got a new job. You're not talking about when it happened, just that it has happened and it matters now.
And notice something interesting. In everyday English, people often say, I've got, instead of I have. So, I've got a new phone. I've got some time. Things like that.
Let's also look at questions. To ask a question, you simply move have or has to the beginning. Have you finished your work? Has she called you?
And the answers are simple too. Yes, I have. No, I haven't.
Those short answers are very useful in conversations. You don't always need to repeat the full sentence.
Let's do a quick back and forth. Emma, have you ever visited another city alone?
Yes, I have. I've traveled alone a few times, and I really enjoyed it.
That sounds great. I haven't traveled alone much, but I've thought about it.
See how natural that feels? We're not thinking about rules. We're just using the structure.
And that's what you should aim for. Start with simple patterns like I haven't, have you. These are your building blocks.
Also, if you're unsure during a conversation, you can use safe phrases like, I think I've done it, or I've already tried that. Even if it's not perfect, people will understand you.
And understanding is the goal. Perfect grammar comes later with practice.
One more small tip, don't worry if you don't remember all the past participles immediately. Start with common verbs like done, seen, gone, made, tried.
Over time, you'll hear them again and again, and they'll become familiar.
So at this point, you should have a clear idea. Have/has plus past participle, used when something from the past is connected to the present.
And more importantly, you've already heard how it sounds in real conversations, not just in theory.
That's the foundation. Now we can start using it in different real-life situations and make it even more natural.
So now that we've got a clear idea of how this works, let's bring it into real life. Because honestly, this tense is everywhere in daily conversations. You just need to notice it.
Exactly. Instead of separating everything into rules, let's talk like we normally would and see how it shows up naturally.
All right, Emma, let me ask you something simple. Have you ever tried learning something new and felt stuck at the beginning?
Oh, yes, I have. I've started learning new skills many times, and in the beginning, I've often felt confused. But after some practice, things have become clearer.
That's a great example. You said, I've started, I've felt, things have become. You're talking about your experiences over time, not one specific moment.
Right, and this is one of the most common uses, talking about life experiences, things you've done at some point in your life.
Like, I've visited Lahore, I've eaten Chinese food, or I've watched that series.
And when you want to ask someone about their experience, you can say, have you ever tried? For example, have you ever tried public speaking? Or have you ever learned English through podcasts?
Let's make it more real. Emma, have you ever forgotten something important?
I have, unfortunately. I've forgotten my keys, I've missed meetings, and once I've even forgotten a friend's birthday.
That happens to everyone. I've forgotten things too, especially when I've been busy.
Notice something here. We're not saying when exactly it happened. We're just sharing experiences.
Now let's move to another everyday situation. Recent actions. things that happened a short time ago.
This is where words like just, already, and yet come in.
For example, I've just finished my lunch. That means it happened a moment ago.
Or, I've already completed the task. That shows the action is done, maybe sooner than expected.
And for negative sentences, I haven't finished yet. That means the action is not complete, but you expect it to happen.
Let's turn this into a real conversation. Sam, have you finished your work today?
I've just finished it, actually. I've already sent all my emails, too.
That sounds productive. I haven't completed everything yet, but I've done most of it.
See how natural that sounds? These are the kinds of sentences you'll use every day.
And here's a helpful tip. If someone asks you something and you're not ready, you can say, I haven't done it yet, instead of explaining too much.
Or if you've completed something recently, just say, I've just done it. Simple and clear.
Now let's talk about something slightly different. Situations that started in the past and are still true now.
This is where we use for and since.
For example, I've lived here for 5 years. That means you started living here 5 years ago and you still live here now.
And I've worked here since 2020. That gives a starting point.
Let's make it personal again. Sam, how long have you been teaching English?
I've been teaching English for several years now, and I've really enjoyed the journey.
That's a perfect sentence. You started in the past and it continues today.
And you can use this in many situations. I've studied English for 2 years. I've known him since school. I've used this method for a long time.
These are very common in daily conversations, especially when you're talking about your life, your work, or your habits.
Now, here's something important. Many learners make a small mistake here. They say, I am living here since 5 years.
But the correct form is, I've lived here for 5 years.
That small change makes your English sound much more natural.
Also, if you're ever unsure, you can use simple support phrases like, I've been doing this for a while, or I've been learning recently. These help you keep the conversation going.
And remember, the goal is communication. Even if your sentence is not perfect, using these patterns will make you sound more fluent.
Let's do one more quick exchange. Sam, have you ever tried waking up early every day?
Yes, I have. I've tried it a few times, and I've noticed it helps me stay more focused.
That's interesting. I haven't tried it consistently, but I've thought about it.
See how we're using short, clear sentences? That's what makes communication effective.
Also, when you're thinking during a conversation, you can use support phrases. For example, I think I've done that before, or I've probably seen it.
These phrases give you time to think and keep the conversation going.
And if you're unsure about what someone said, you can respond with something like, I haven't understood that clearly, or more naturally, sorry, I didn't get that.
Or simply, can you repeat that? These are very useful in real conversations.
Now, here's another small tip. Try to notice how often people use this tense when they talk about results.
For example, I've lost my keys. That means the keys are still lost now.
Or, she's broken her phone. The phone is still broken.
That connection to the present is always there.
Let's do one more example together. Sam, why are you smiling?
I've received some good news.
That's perfect. You didn't say when, it's just important now.
And that's what you should focus on when speaking. Not the rule, but the meaning.
Before we move ahead, remember this. If you avoid these common mistakes and use simple patterns, your English will already sound much more natural.
You don't need complicated sentences. Even I've done it, I haven't tried, or have you seen this can take you very far.
And with practice, these patterns will become automatic.
So let's bring everything together now and use it the way people actually speak in real life. No overthinking, no stopping, just a natural conversation.
Yes, imagine you're talking to a friend. You're not thinking about rules, you're just sharing what you've done, what you've experienced, and what's happening in your life.
All right, Emma, let's say we haven't spoken in a while. Hey, Emma, it's been a long time. How have you been?
I've been good, actually. I've been quite busy with work, but I've also started doing a few new things in my free time.
That sounds interesting. What have you started recently?
I've started reading more regularly, and I've also joined a small online group where people discuss books.
That's great. I've tried reading regularly too, but I haven't been consistent.
It takes time. I've found that if I read even a little every day, it becomes easier.
True. I've noticed the same with learning English. When I practice daily, I've improved much faster.
That's a really important point. Small, consistent effort makes a big difference.
By the way, have you watched any good shows recently?
Yes, I have. I've watched a couple of new series and I've really enjoyed them.
Nice. I haven't watched anything lately, but I've heard about some interesting ones.
You should try one. It helps with listening skills too.
Definitely. And speaking of learning, I've been thinking about trying a new method.
What kind of method?
I've been considering practicing more through conversations instead of just studying rules.
That's a smart idea. Many learners have improved their speaking by focusing on real conversations.
Yeah, I've realized that understanding grammar is useful, but using it is what really matters.
Exactly. You've understood the concept and now you need to apply it.
Let's imagine another situation. You meet someone new. Hi, nice to meet you. Have you been in this city for a long time?
Yes, I have. I've lived here for about 5 years.
Oh, that's nice. I've just moved here recently.
Then you'll enjoy it. I've explored many places here and I've had a great experience so far.
That sounds encouraging. I haven't explored much yet, but I'm planning to.
Take your time. You'll discover things gradually.
Now let's step back for a moment and quickly go over what we've covered today, just in a natural way.
Sure. So we've talked about how this tense helps you connect the past with the present.
We've used it for experiences like I've tried, I've visited, I've learned.
We've also used it for recent actions. I've just finished. I've already done it. I haven't completed it yet.
And for situations that continue until now. I've worked here for years. I've known him since childhood.
We've also seen common mistakes and how to avoid them, especially mixing it with past simple.
And we've practiced natural patterns, questions, short answers, and contractions.
The important thing is not to memorize everything, but to start using simple sentences in your daily life.
Even small sentences like I've done it or I haven't tried that can make a big difference.
And if you don't understand something, you can say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that," or "Can you repeat that?" Communication always comes first.
Over time, you'll notice that these structures become part of your speaking naturally.
And once that happens, you won't need to think about grammar, you'll just speak.
That's the goal, to make English a part of your daily communication.
So keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep speaking.